Have you ever applied for a job like this? The role looks like a good fit. The requirements do not look impossible. You rewrite your resume once, then you rewrite it again. You finally click submit. And then? Nothing. No call, no email, no reason, not even a polite rejection. A few days later, you open the job board again. The same job is still there. And a very ugly thought appears in your head. Did I not even qualify to be rejected? That is the case we are investigating today. Not why one company ignored you. Not how to make your resume look prettier. The real question is why so many resumes never seem to reach a human being at all. Finding a job has always been hard. But the old picture in your head was still human. Someone reads your resume. They frown. They hesitate. They decide you are not a fit. Then you get rejected. Today, the strange part is that you may not even reach the human judgment stage. You may first enter a machine. The machine does not hate you. It does not know you. It is simply asking a list of questions. Does this resume contain the right keyword? Does it show the right degree? Does it show the right certificate? Does it show enough years of experience? Is there a gap? Can the format be read? Are the job titles recognizable? If one answer does not fit the rule, you may fall. And you fall into a very quiet place. We usually call it the resume black hole. The worst part is not that it rejects you. The worst part is that you do not know how you were rejected. You think you are communicating with a company. But first you are communicating with a filtering system. You think you submitted a resume. The system may see a pile of fields. Name, school, major, years of experience, job keywords, certificates, employment gap, expected salary, city. Every field is a small gate. Only after enough gates open may your resume reach a person. Harvard Business School and Accenture published a report on a group of people they called hidden workers. These are not people who do not want to work. And they are not people with no ability. They are people who are often invisible inside hiring systems. The report estimated more than 27 million hidden workers in the United States. Some are caregivers trying to return to work. Some are veterans. Some are people with disabilities. Some were formerly incarcerated and are trying to restart. Some do not have a shiny degree, but they do have real experience. The shared problem is that they have shapes the system does not like. Maybe their work history has a gap. Maybe their degree is not from the preferred category. Maybe their job title does not match a standard label. Maybe their skills were learned through work, not through a certificate. A human being might ask, "What happened here?" A machine often does not ask. It scores, or it filters. That is the first reversal. Hiring software was supposed to help companies find people, but it can easily become a machine for reducing inconvenience. The company says, "We receive too many resumes. We need efficiency. We need to screen first." That sounds reasonable. Nobody wants to manually read thousands of resumes. The problem is that efficiency can quietly replace the goal. The original goal was to find the right person. The new goal becomes removing people who do not look like the standard answer. This is a little like an exam. An exam can help you select people. But if you only trust the exam, you may keep selecting people who are good at taking that exam. Hiring systems work the same way. They can help organize applications. But if they become the first gate of fate, they start to prefer people with the right format. This is not just a theory. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission brought a case against iTutorGroup. iTutorGroup hired online tutors. The EEOC said the company programmed its application software in 2020 to automatically reject some older applicants. Women who were 55 or older. Men who were 60 or older. These applicants were not rejected after a thoughtful interview. They were stopped by software. The case later settled for $365,000. The money was not the biggest point. The case mattered because it showed something clearly. Hiring discrimination does not always have a human face. Sometimes it looks like a drop-down menu, an age field, an automatic rejection rule, a line of code you never get to see. Now think about those rejections that arrive almost instantly. Rejection emails at 2 a.m. Rejection emails a few minutes after you apply. Of course, not every fast rejection comes from a machine, but you can feel the direction of the system. More and more, hiring is not just a person slowly reading you. It is a process quickly processing you. There is another famous story. Amazon once built an experimental recruiting tool. Reuters reported on it in 2018. The goal sounded simple. Give the system a pile of resumes. Let it help identify candidates worth looking at. That sounds reasonable. But the problem was that the tool learned from past hiring data. And in many technical roles, the past was heavily male. So the system did not only learn who might be good at the job, it also learned the bias of the past. Reuters reported that the system penalized some resumes containing words related to women. For example, women's chess club, or graduates from women's colleges. Amazon eventually abandoned the tool. The most important lesson is not that Amazon made one mistake. The lesson is that machines are not neutral judges dropped from the sky. They eat the past. And sometimes they spit the past back out. If the old company preferred one kind of person, the machine may package that preference as a model score. If the old job market preferred certain schools, certain career paths, or certain resume language, the machine may confuse those signals with ability. That is the second reversal. So-called intelligent hiring is often not predicting who will succeed in the future. It may be copying who looked acceptable in the past. You may be able to do the job. But if you do not look like the typical person in the training data, you may be pushed aside. Now look at the Workday case. A job seeker named Derek Mobley sued Workday. He is over 40. He is black. He also has disabilities. He alleges that he applied to many jobs through companies using Workday systems and kept being rejected. This case is still moving through the courts. So we should not treat the allegations as proven facts. But the case matters because a court allowed parts of the claims to continue. It put a larger question on the table. If a software company provides screening, scoring, or ranking tools, and if those tools affect who gets to the next round, is that company just a tool provider? Or is it also participating in the hiring decision? In the old world, if you were rejected, you might say that company did not want me. Now it is more complicated. It may be the company. It may be the system. It may be the rules the company set. It may be the model provided by a software vendor. It may be a table in your resume that the machine could not read. The question becomes, who do you even ask? That is what makes the resume black hole so frustrating. It is not one bad person sitting there trying to hurt you. It is a stack of normal-looking efficiency tools. The job description is overloaded. The system filters quickly. HR sees only the remaining resumes. The hiring manager thinks they saw the candidate pool. The applicant thinks they lost to someone else. But the middle layer was never really visible. New York City later passed a rule on automated employment decision tools. In simple terms, employers and employment agencies using these tools must have a recent bias audit, make certain information public and notify candidates. California also approved rules in 2025 clarifying how anti-discrimination law applies to automated decision systems in employment. These rules tell us something. This is no longer just job seekers being sensitive. It has become a public problem. When machines start participating in hiring, society has to ask, what rules open this gate? Who checks the gate? And who is responsible when the wrong person is shut out? Now bring the camera back to ordinary people. When you apply for a job, the biggest mistake may not be that your resume is not fancy enough. It may be that you wrote it only for a human reader. But the first gate may not be human. Humans like stories. Machines first read structure. A human can understand why you moved from sales into operations. A machine may first look for operations keywords. A human can listen to why you had a 2-year gap. A machine may only see the gap. A human can understand that in a small company you handled many different tasks. A machine may not know which box to put you in. So, the correct move is not to worship the machine. That would turn a person into keywords. The correct move is to stop the machine from misunderstanding you. First, keep the structure clean. Do not hide important experience inside complicated tables. Do not rely on a beautiful template that machines cannot read. Job title, company, dates and results should be clear. Second, use the real language of the job description. This does not mean stuffing keywords. It means that if you truly did the same work, say it in words the system recognizes. If you did user growth, do not only write that you made the product more lively. If you did customer retention, do not only write that you maintained relationships. The machine does not understand your subtlety. Third, explain non-standard paths. Employment gaps, career changes, freelance work, caregiving. These things are not shameful. But if you leave them completely unexplained, the system and strangers will imagine the story for you. Give them a reasonable frame before they guess. Fourth, do not use only one entrance. Online applications are one entrance. They are not the only entrance. Referrals, portfolios, public projects, industry communities, contacting people on the team. These are not cheating. They are ways to become visible again. Because if the first gate increasingly looks like a machine, you should not let yourself become only a set of fields. Fifth, understand one thing. Job hunting is not only proving that you are good, it is helping an unfamiliar system understand why you match this role. That sentence matters. Good is not the same as matched. Hardworking is not the same as readable. Capable is not the same as recognized by the system. That sounds harsh, but it gives you a little agency. You cannot control how every company filters. You cannot control how every model scores. But you can control one thing. Do not write your most important ability as a fog the system cannot read. At the end of this case, the resume black hole is not really a hole. It is more like a conveyor belt. You enter at the front. Then you pass format. Then keywords. Then degree. Then years of experience. Then gaps. Only after that may you reach a human being. You think you are competing with a company. But first, you are competing with rules. You think nobody replied because you are not good enough. Sometimes the problem is that the system never really saw you. So, before you send the next resume, pause for a second. Do not rush to squeeze yourself into a pretty template. Ask 3 questions. Can a human understand this? Can a machine read it? Have I described the job's real requirements in language the system can recognize? If the answer is no, do not immediately doubt yourself. First, look at the lock on the door. Because often what blocks you is not a lack of ability. It is that the first gate has changed its key.